All right, the X-Man's coming to you live on Sunday night. A little bit later than normal. I almost forgot to get on here. Now we're going to do NFL recap of today's games. Like I said, it wasn't going to make it for the daytime. I had some stuff to mend out. So let's run down what happened today. We'll start with the I guess I could start with the Eagles game since they seem to be the most fortunate team of all. Um, the Eagles was squeak by win 28-23 over the Jacksonville Jaguars. They really should be able to be a team like that by like 2 touchdowns, by the way. So if I were them, I wouldn't actually be so poised as to overhype them right now. I mean, at 6-2, they are you know a wild card team or a possible playoff team. I mean, they're definitely in the thick of things, even though I'm still questionable as to what they can actually do. I don't think they're going to last long, personally, but let's do the numbers. Devontae Smith had a touchdown. Barkley was running hard. That one that was a fumble really wasn't a fumble, I don't think either. Um, but nonetheless, the Eagles squeak by the Jaguars, 28-23. We'll go into the analytics part of this, I guess. So the analytics behind it all was Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is pretty much done. He probably shouldn't even be a starter right now. He only 169 yards on 31 attempts, 16 to 31, 169, 2 picks. That's pretty terrible. Um, he scored 2 TDs, and really the whole thing with them, the only guy that really, Evan Ingram was the only one that actually even had half a decent game, and yet they still stayed in that game and almost won. Not really a great number. Now the Eagles side of the ball is Hurts. Again, Hurts thinking he's a running back. 67 yards on 13 carries. There's no reason that a quarterback should have to run the ball 13 times in any game. It just doesn't seem to be much of a. It shouldn't be that. As far as the quarterback play, I guess it was a fair game. He didn't turn it over. 230 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Got sacked 3 times. Um, the leading receiver was Devontae Smith. A.J. Brown was pretty much deemed done, did nothing. He had 2 catches for 36 yards. So he disappeared in the game against the Jaguars, so I don't understand that either. Barkley really going off, man. 27 carries, 159 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, I hate to say it, as of right now, Barkley's really playing at a high level. The Eagles are using him right, and I think that's one of the main reasons they're 6-2 right now. So they won. A win is a win. Let's go to the Commanders and the Giants game while we're at it. All right, so Jaden Daniels, 209 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and no picks. Played pretty good. That was a close game. The Giants did what they could with what they have. But obviously, the Giants are just not a good football team. They're 2-7. They're done. I mean, the Bulls probably going to get fired anyway. Daniel Jones, again, another lackluster game. He somehow got 2 touchdown passes, but 174 yards. I don't even know how he did that. Tyrone Tracy Jr. got 66 yards rushing. Daniel Jones, 7 rushes, 54 yards, and a touchdown. Kind of crazy. States Malik Neighbors, 9 catches, 59 yards. Darius Slayton, 3 catches. I mean, the Giants just aren't a very good football team. The Commanders, like I said, Jaden Daniels is playing good. It'll be interesting when the Eagles and the Commanders meet each other. What happens there? I'm kind of curious as to who's going to be the better team out of the two. It seems like they're in a collision course for the division now, which alludes to the other team that is in the division that can't seem to get anything going, and they got a lot of questions, and it's the Dallas Cowboys, the 3-5 Dallas Cowboys now. succumbing to the Atlanta Falcons today. Just aren't a good team, the Dallas Cowboys. It just, I think, I think they're going to give the Eagles a game because I don't think the Eagles are as good as people think they are. But, I think the Dallas Cowboys are just definitely not a good team at all. Dak Prescott, 133 yards and a touchdown pass. I don't know why people are just crushing the guy. I mean, he had 133 yards and one TD pass. He really didn't have much going on there. And, you know, Kirk Cousins, 222 yards and three touchdown passes. Kirk Cousins played good today. Bijan Robinson, 19 rushes, 86 yards. Mooney got five catches, 88 yards and a touchdown. Falcons squeak by 6-3. Atlanta Falcons are a playoff team. They have almost the same record as the Eagles. And if anything, they have the tiebreaker against the Eagles because they beat the Eagles this year in Philadelphia. By the way, remember that game where Barkley dropped the pass? So yeah, the Atlanta Falcons, at 6-3, look pretty good. So anyway, yeah, the Atlanta Falcons look pretty good. I don't think they're really a serious contender though, as much as it seems like it. But they did what they had to do. Um, let's go right down the list here. The Miami Dolphins and the Bills. I was watching a little bit of that game. The Miami Dolphins, the Bills, they came out and they won. The Buffalo Bills are now. They looked pretty solid today. I mean, it was a very close game. Battle of two teams, one desperately needing a win and couldn't get it done, and one team that's headed to the playoffs, that being the Buffalo Bills, and the Buffalo Bills handled it enough to win. I mean, Josh Allen, 235, three T's and a pick. It's tough. I mean, Ray Davis, two receptions, 70 yards and a touchdown. Past Tyreek Hill, eight catches, four catches, 80 yards, no touchdown. It just seems a little ridiculous that Tyreek Hill is considered one of the best receivers, but can't get in the end zone. The Buffalo Bills once again proving that they are a playoff team, possibly a Super Bowl team, but we'll see where they're at. They're 7-2. I mean, they looked pretty solid. Like I said, it's a tight window between the Ravens, the Bills, and the Texans. But the Texans, obviously, with a loss to the Jets, you kind of got to wonder if the Texans are going to be able to stay in it without Nico Collins and Stephon Diggs. But the Buffalo Bills, 7-2, looking really good there. The next game, the Ravens and the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos 5-4 really fell apart today. The Baltimore Ravens just went all over the place. Lamar Jackson, 280 yards passing, three touchdowns. Derrick Henry just pretty much solidifying he's going to probably be the MVP, could be an MVP of the league, honestly. 23 carries, 106 yards, and two touchdowns. It's obvious that Derrick Henry is himself another running back. He kind of solidifies himself there as what he is, I think go back live again. So yeah, the Baltimore Ravens is looking pretty good. Zay Flowers, five catches, 127, and two touchdowns. Whew. Pretty tough on fantasy points. But the Ravens at 6-3. They're right in the mix. Ravens, Bills, and I guess unfortunately the Chiefs. So yeah, the Baltimore Ravens is another simplified win. Go down the list. The Bears and the Cardinals. The Bears are now 4-4. Caleb Williams, let's see what he did. He had 217 yards, nothing else. Kyler Murray, I mean, quarterback threw for a touchdown pass, kind of embarrassing. But the Arizona Cardinals pull it off, and the Arizona Cardinals end up winning the game easily too, 29-9. Arizona Cardinals at 5-4. Not a great record, but you never know. A team like that could always creep into the playoff picture. Cardinals at 5-4. The Bears at 4-4. Pretty much their season's probably over with soon. I don't think the Bears were ever really good to begin with. Arizona wins. Did the Actually, no. One more thing before I go. What James Conner? Yeah, James Conner's been playing good. 107 yards. He didn't get a touchdown though. Didn't really help my cause either. Um, yes, the Cardinals are 5-4. They look pretty good. All right, so the Lions and the Packers. Oh my, the Detroit Lions, another win, 7-1. Have only lost one game this year. Jared Goff, not great numbers. Monsanto Brown, 7 catches, 56 yards, and a touchdown. Pretty much the difference maker in itself, right there. Dave Montgomery, 70 carries, 73 yards. The Detroit Lions really look like a solid team to make a run for it, but we'll see exactly where they go, the Lions. But at 7-1, it seems like they seemingly are on a collision course to get to at least the NFC Championship game. We're hoping. I don't know, but at 7-1, I'm gonna have to say Jordan Love, 273 with a pick. Josh Jacobs, 13 carries, 95 yards. Not bad. Reed, 5 for 113. But the Packers fall short, and the Lions go on 7-1. The Rams beat the Seahawks in overtime. The Rams, they've been hanging in there in these games, but I don't know how long we can really hold in. I mean, Cooper Kupp, 11 catches, 104 yards, no touchdowns, though. Jigba had 180 yards in the air, 2 touchdowns. Geno Smith, 3 TDs and 3 picks. Geno Smith is on the back end coming in. Seattle Seahawks I don't think they're going anywhere. The Rams, I don't think are going anywhere either. But interesting game. They went in overtime. That's kind of like really what it all is today. That was all the rundown today. So basically, nobody really took over and did it. The Ravens won in great fashion. So I guess the Ravens right now have the higher edge of every team, in my opinion, because it's the only one that dominantly was won. But that could change. Like I said, the Lions are 7-1. The Falcons are 6-3. So, I mean, it's going to shape out to be very interesting at the end of the year. Kirk Cousins has played well enough to win. He's played better than most of the quarterbacks, so I can't really say that. That looks like it's the Eagles, the Commanders, the Lions, maybe the Arizona Cardinals or the 49ers. We'll see what that does during the end of the year for the NFC and the AFC. It's just, oh yeah, I don't forgot about the one game too. Where's that other game? The Titans, the Patriots. Yeah, there was. I know the Titans, the Patriots were going to it. Yeah, and the Tennessee Titans win. That was a game of who wants to get the first pick, basically, and the Titans pulled it all. Although the fact that Mason Rudolph is their starting quarterback, it pretty much tells me that they don't want to win this year, even though they won today. Not much there. Tony Pollard, 28 catches, 128 yards. Calvin Ridley, 5 for 73, but nothing really there. Drake May, 206 yards, a TD, and 2 picks. I don't think that the New England Patriots are going to be good for a very long time. I don't think the Titans are going to be a good team for a very long time. So, yeah, that's kind of where it sums up. And then tonight, obviously, there's a game, but I probably won't stay awake. Indianapolis Colts at the Vikings. I do expect Joe Flacco to play good tonight. I honestly wouldn't be shocked if the Colts went in there and beat the Vikings. But we'll find out that later. And then tomorrow night's the Bucks at the Chiefs. Ugh. Yeah. Buccaneers or the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs couldn't get it any easier as a team. I'm not understanding why the Chiefs get so many easy scheduled games in there. It's like the NFL just wants Taylor Swift in the Super Bowl again. I really believe that. I'm not even gonna like hold back on that. Um, I also want to give my thoughts and opinions about Joel Embiid before I get off here too. But um, as a professional athlete, I think Joel Embiid horrendously held himself in contempt of himself today or yesterday when he went after Marcus Hayes. I understand that Marcus Hayes definitely went overboard in talking about his brother that passed away. He should not have done that and made that in any conversation. It has nothing to do with Embiid the athlete. I just think Embiid as an athlete, he's hurt and he lied to people and he sat out. Now the thing that makes me mad about it is the fact that he gets $300 million contract and he's just going to have to sit out with injury now. But he could have avoided that if he just told people that earlier. So now the Sixers fans that paid tickets to see that they don't get to watch him, and he says, "I don't give a shit about you." That's not a professional athlete. That's a crybaby that will always be a crybaby. He'll go on the court and he'll perform this year at some point. But are you really going to get anything out of Joel Embiid at this point? I mean, his career is pretty much done with the Sixers. I think. I don't think that even if he stays a year or two, I don't think it's going to matter because you're not ever going to go any farther than where you are. And Paul George is a fraud as far as I'm concerned. He's going to get on the court, but he doesn't get you to win. He's never even made it to the NBA Finals. So this man is just going around, and they're using him as a name because he's a good guard. He is, but he's not a championship guard. So you're not going to win any championships. The Sixers, they don't need these players. And they definitely don't need to be paying $300 million contracts out to guys like Embiid, especially at this juncture of his career. And now he says he doesn't give a shit about the fans and everything else and all that nonsense. I'm not a fan favorite of Joel Embiid, and I made a point about this before too. A guy like Charles Barkley or a guy like Allen Iverson would go out there and play. They wouldn't load manage and then wouldn't sit on the court and collect $300 million checks. That's the kind of thing that just gets me infuriated. I don't think that Embiid even warrants that. He's a great player, but at the same time, he's tarnished his career since he's been here. He lets the fans get to him. He lets the commentators get to him. He lets the Philadelphia Inquirer get to him. And when it's time to really play in the playoffs, he disappears. So, I mean, that's really what I take about it. I'm not gonna, I understand that he should be mad about Marcus Hayes saying that about his brother. But at the end of the day, you're a professional athlete. You need to go out there and you need to be a professional. You have to suck it up, deal with it, just hold it in. You can say words to people, but you can't put your hands on people. It's that simple. And that's just really what it is. So, anyway, that's my breakdown of the night. Doesn't seem like a lot of people are getting on my live right now, but eventually they will. I guess it's not a peak time tonight. Anyway, I'm going to get off for tonight. X-Man out.